Alrighty guys, we're heading into inside information now. This is a really interesting level just because there's a lot of different variations you can do. So there's a couple spots where we're going to be going over a couple different things in order to be like, hey, you can do beginner strats, you can do more advanced strats, it's up to you. So first things first, just exit that thing with Thorin, and we're going to come into, we're just going to come down this path here. And this is actually the first spot where we can make a division, so I'm actually just going to save it right here so that we can go over each one individually. So starting off with the beginner strats, let's do that. Alrighty, so for beginner strats, what you're going to want to do is just head up this way, and you're going to get that cutscene there. Just skip that, come over this ledge here. We're going to make our way over this way. We have to get the goblet from Smaug. So we're just going to come over this way. If you walk on the gold too much or you make too much noise, well, Bilbo just explained it, Smaug will wake up and he'll try and kill you. So you're just going to come up here, you're going to grab the goblet. Once you have the goblet, you're just going to make your way back the way that you came. So that's pretty easy to do. Just come back up here, come back over here, and make your way back up here. And we're going to come back down, and once we get to about here, we're going to activate a cutscene that's going to have us wake Smaug up and then talk to Thorin, and then we'll come back in here. So, that was the beginner strats. Let's go over the advanced strats now. Alrighty, so for the advanced strats, what you're going to want to do is stand about back here-ish, which you can do when you come in, to set up a safe spot for the clip warp. So what you're going to do is you're going to stand around here and you're going to start jumping. Again, with most clip warps, you have to make sure that you don't stay on the ground for too long, so you have to make sure you exit out of that cutscene really quick. So again, we just have to go get the goblet from Smaug, so just make your way there without making too much noise, and also while maintaining your clip position, so make sure that you don't end up on the ground for too long. So grab the goblet, get out of there, and instead of going to the left, what you're actually going to do is come off to the right here. Jump on top of this block, and then come up to this area here. So from here, you're going to kind of come into this corner here and grab onto the ledge, and as you can see, we're actually clipped into the corner there. So once you do that, we climbed up. Once you do that, you're in the corner, just press A to let go, and you'll see that you kind of get stuck in the wall. And if you maintained your clip properly, you'll just warp right back to the area. Oh, I was a little far back, and you can just activate the cutscene that talks to Thorin instead of having to walk all the way back. So that was the advanced strats. So continuing on after you get the goblet, we're just going to make our way back in. And you'll see that Smaug is obviously now awake. So just skip through all that, come up this way. So we now have to worry about Smaug being awake and trying to wreck us. So what you're likely going to want to do is put your ring on. And then just head down to the right here instead of going towards him. So from the right, we're just going to make our way over here to this little pedestal. If you need to recharge your ring, you can just hide behind here. So keep your ring on, head up these platforms right here. There's going to be a bunch of chains and stuff you can climb up that are going to allow you to get to where you need to be. So climb up all these chains and make your way up to the chandelier that's above Smaug and collect all of the courage points that are up here. If you don't collect all this courage, the next section of the level won't load, so just make sure you do that. So once you do that, we're going to end up here. This part's pretty straightforward. It's just go and don't get attacked by fire. Pretty self-explanatory. You can get pretty far on the first one here, generally about 3, maybe even 4 if you're lucky. I'm going to stop at 3 just to be careful. You can make it down to that other one there, but, you know, it's something you have to risk. Oops. Okay, so I'm just going to stay here. Oh, actually, I can get to this one. So you want to hide behind this stuff when he breathes his fire, because if you don't, you will die. Once you get up here, above these stairs, just long jump off to the right, grab this diamond that's down here, and that'll load the next part of the level. This is also the only level that has like an actual story arc in the middle of it. I find that pretty interesting. Anyways, that's just a random side note there. Alrighty, so for this next section, there are actually like 3 or 4 different ways to do this, but I'm only going to go over 2 of them, because one of them, personally, I don't find is all that... I mean, it is technically faster, but I am, A, not very good at it, and B, it's kind of awkward and hard to pull off, and if you mess it up, it doesn't actually save any time, which kind of sucks. So we're just going to go over beginner and intermediate strats, I suppose. I'm not going to go into advanced strats. If you are interested about that, just leave a comment. I will go over it with you if that's something you want to know about. But let's just start off with the beginner strats here. So for beginner strats, what you're going to want to do is you're just going to want to come over here, hold down. You're going to do a long jump off this corner here to about like right here-ish. So just do a long jump. And you'll see that when you land in the water, you don't take any damage. For some reason, when you land in water, even from high heights, the game's like, hey, you're fine. Well, ankle-deep water, at least, because the game's like, oh, you should be dead, but we're not going to kill you. So from here, what you're going to want to do is just push this block so that it covers the whirlpool there. And from there, the water is going to start rising, so you're going to want to start making your way up pretty quickly here. This is a really boring section because you're essentially just waiting for the water to rise and you're pushing blocks into the proper place as you're ascending. So just keep pushing blocks into the right place as you get to them. It's pretty straightforward. You just have to go up, hit the blocks, wait for the water to rise, get them in the right spot, blah, blah, blah. The game is kind enough to give you a save point at pretty much every block, which I think is hilarious. You know, just in case you need to save while you're ascending this. But once it loads the next area, the save point disappears. I guess they just didn't want to render save points underwater. That's the thing. But yeah, this is actually a really straightforward section. When we get into intermediate strats, it'll be a bit more interesting. But for the time being, we just kind of gotta make our way up and get all these blocks. Alrighty, so that's the last one we had to do. From there, we're going to make our way this way. Grab onto this vine on the right here, and just start making your way over the vines so you get to this one here. So from this point, what you're going to do is you're essentially just going to wait for that. You're just going to wait for that elevator to come up there, that door piece that was on the water. You're waiting for that to come up. You're jumping on it, you're rising all the way up to the top, so I am not even going to bother explaining this because it takes about 2.5 minutes for this to happen. It's really, really boring. So if you have some elevator music, go ahead and play some nice relaxing elevator music for your viewers. Anyways, I'm just going to speed through this, so just bear with me. Alrighty, so once that slow ascent is done, if you just jump here, you'll see you end that quest. And then you can just wait for it to come a little longer, grab onto this edge, and we'll just make our way up these stairs here, which is going to end the level. So that's the beginner strats for that. Really, really boring. It takes a long time, so if you have some nice elevator music, just relax, or if you need to catch up on something, you can go ahead and do it. You have about 2.5 minutes. But yeah, that's the beginner strats, so let's go back and let's head into the advanced strats. Alrighty, so for the intermediate strats, we're going to be doing the exact same thing we did before, except you're actually going to want to hold a clip position. So you're going to want to set your clip position up here, and then you're going to come down, do your long jump. The good thing about water is that when you're standing in water, you actually still have your clip position held because you're technically not on ground. So while you're in water, you're completely fine to be standing still. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you get out of water again, you're just going to want to keep jumping to maintain your clip position up at the top there. So just keep making your way up. Make sure you keep jumping. Don't lose that clip position. And we're going to be pushing these in as the water rises. So just keep jumping. And once the water gets up, we can just kind of push the water in. Now, if you feel comfortable with it, you can actually move the blocks in a semi-fast manner by grabbing them, moving them slightly, ungrabbing them, and then jumping to maintain your clip position. But it can be a little tricky. So now that the water's up, we can grab this and just push it into place. So that one loads, we go on to the next one. Make sure you don't dive in the water, and make sure you maintain your clip position. I'm going to stress that because if you lose your clip position, you're going to end up doing something like die in the water when you clip. So yeah, while you're waiting for the water to rise, just keep jumping. Make sure that clip stays, and that's pretty much what you're going to want to do up until the last block, is just wait for the water to rise, and then push the block into place as it comes up. Ready, so it's up. We can safely walk now. So we push that into place, so we just have one more to go. So this is probably the longest one you have to wait for just because it's so high up from the last one there. That's okay. It just takes a little bit of time for it to come up, that's all. Alright, so now that's up, we can just push this into place. This is the last one we need to push into place, so that's a good thing. So once we push this into place, we're going to head forward here. And instead of going to the left where the door is, we're actually going to head straight instead. So just come up this way, make your way over to this ledge right here. And we're going to do kind of the same thing we did in the advanced strats at the beginning of the level, is that if we come into the corner here and we hold into the wall, you'll see that we get stuck on the wall. And we can use that as a clip position to take us back up to the top. And you'll see, hey, you know, it successfully finished the quest. And we're back at the top, and we don't have to wait for that elevator to rise there. So from here, what you're going to want to do is just long jump across here, and you're going to make your way over here and just kind of walk over. You just got to be a little careful because you can get stuck on stuff. So just kind of be careful as you're inching over. There we go. And then from there, you can just come over here and come up and finish the level. So that's that. It's more of an intermediate strat than an advanced strat, but because the other one saves time but is pretty complex and I'm not that good at it, I'll go over it if someone wants me to go over it. So again, if that's something you're interested in, just leave it down in the comments. I'll do my best to go over it with you, or I'll try and make a video for it. But yeah, that was inside information, so hopefully that was helpful, and I will see you guys in the next video.